Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing great. Hope everyone out there is doing well. What's everyone been up to? How's life been treating you? What's new? What new investments are you buying? Have you been buying any altcoins lately? Have you been buying Bitcoin? What cryptocurrencies as we, near that moment, what cryptocurrencies do you think are going to be doing a 10 or 20x? There's a lot of rumors going around for a lot of big coins that crazy things are going to continue to happen, especially as we continue to only receive really intense news about buying all the time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. There's a brand new video every single day, and there has been one since the end of 2016? Yes, it's been a very, very, very long ride. And without any ado, that is further, let's jump right into it. I am personally quite fascinated to see where things are going to be in the next couple of weeks. We have, and I say this lightly, we have all but been promised fireworks for September and October. These are meant to be the days, months, where we hear about the approvals of multiple different ETFs within the US of A. Speculation is abound right now as to which coins are going to hyper bounce up into the moon. We've had a lot of really wacky, if you will, price predictions, but we've also been having, and I mean, this has been constant. There is no letting up of this. I really, truly do wonder where this is all going to lead by the time we get to December, because I feel like something is actually going to break, not a bad break, if you will, but you cannot continuously see companies, corporations, institutions announcing massive purchases like this, and then we don't hit a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 Bitcoin this year. So yeah, things are definitely ticking up. This is a bit of news that I missed because there's a lot of it. There's constantly, every single day. It's impossible to go over everything. There's at least 80, 100 things happening per day. It sounds like a fake number. It's not. There's a lot happening in this space. Someone by the name of David Bailey, head of the Bitcoin-focused firm Nakamoto Inc., I would assume they are just about Bitcoin, and co-founder of a company called BTC Inc., announced that days ago, he was going to be making a major Bitcoin purchase. He announced that on the 12th of August, he was planning on spending $762 million on crypto. Yes, as I've stated a number of times before, these numbers are nothing to scoff at. We have gone well beyond the days of people announcing they were putting in $2 million into Bitcoin. This is why I keep saying something is up, something's going on. Where are all these companies coming from? And I would say it this way. I do not personally remember saying the words Nakamoto Inc., nor do I remember ever talking about a company of BTC Inc. And now, both entities, if you will, coming out of nowhere to announce that they're spending $762 million US on Bitcoin. Where was that energy last year? Where was it the year before and the year before that? Why everything is happening now? I assume still it has to do with the weakening, that's a nice word for it, of the US dollar. There are still, and I don't know exactly what this is. Do you remember At the end of last year, we had a number of banks announcing that they thought that now we would be in some crazy recession. I mean, like really like shanty towns kind of thing. And then like 4 weeks ago, we heard from a number of banks who were like, oh yeah, no more recession happening. Super cool. And now there's some people popping up again being like, well, you know, the middle of 2026. And it's like, can you just please stop? It's just exhausting at this point. Instead of buying it all at once, David Bailey will apparently be using a volume-weighted average price of VWAP, if you will. This is what it's called, method. This approach breaks a large order into smaller trades throughout the day to help avoid sudden price changes and reducing trading costs, he said. And this is the most first world thing I've ever heard this week. He said, ever since getting into Bitcoin, I've always had this dream of smash buying $1 billion of Bitcoin in a single bid. Tomorrow, that dream comes true. So cool. You know, it's, you know, I'm sorry that he only got to do 762 million. It sounds like, you know, poverty is near. But yeah, so this is another new, and I'm calling him and the two companies an entity collectively. If he's the head of one and the co-founder of another, awesome. So, right. These purchases are getting a little insane because they are happening more frequently now. So, cool. It is going to be wonderful to see that by the time we get to literal summer 2026, that there will be no Bitcoin left and tons of people will be complaining because they, you know, will have heard for the last 1,000 days that this was happening, but for some reason they missed those videos or whatever excuses people have to tell themselves. That's the Nakamoto Inc. 762 million US dollars worth of Bitcoin. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, corporate Bitcoin Treasuries. Companies buying Bitcoin, such as MicroStrategy, are predicted to drain over-the-counter desks and then crypto exchanges. That's a great introduction to that entire article. As we have been going over for some time now, it is a mathematical certainty that if we keep getting stuff like this happening, we are going to see a very wild new direction for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market in just a couple of months. I'm not even talking about the September, October. I'm talking about just completely realistic. If all of these companies keep announcing every single day that they want 38 quadrillion Ether, they're probably going to get it. It's a lot easier to accumulate Ether than it is BTC. At the same exact time, we have always lightly, more or less, been wrestling with this idea of there not being a lot of Bitcoin left. That was a thing last year that we were going over, in case you've forgotten, where I kept on saying, you know, if we have BlackRock and MicroStrategy keep doing what they're doing, at some point they alone are going to drain the entirety of the cryptocurrency market. They're going to absorb a lot of over-the-counter coins. I think the number we heard, I think last year, I want to say 700, but I don't know if that's the number. I remember seeing 700,000 as the amount of Bitcoin left on OTC markets. At some point, that was 500,000. And then I think it was like a big dramatical thing when it hit 250,000 coins, like basically worldwide. All the crypto exchanges aggregate, like together, the amount of coins that are left on the over-the-counter markets, that's all that's left. That's all that there kind of is. So as we keep seeing these companies announcing 6,000 purchases or 17,000 Bitcoin being purchased, and that kind of thing, it will drain that market. That's what this was sometime in March or April. I don't remember this guy's name. He was saying that if that keeps happening, the only really other place to buy will be directly on crypto exchanges. And he was saying this is going to be an inevitability. We are going to witness that there's nothing left except for what's on exchanges, like not OTC, just exchanges. And he said that's going to cause tremendous price movements because of all the companies we were hearing about back then. That's not even all this new stuff. The resulting supply imbalance will uncork Bitcoin price action. Bitcoin demand from over-the-counter desks and exchanges will uncork Bitcoin price growth, a new forecast has said. In a new tweet on Wednesday, swing trader Bedlam Capital Prez, bet on a fresh Bitcoin supply shock. We've been hearing of a supply shock for a while, and we've actually been going through it. What you've witnessed is that Bitcoin's price is going up based on these actual movements, but a lot of the movements of purchases have been happening from over-the-counter markets. If we had seen directly on exchanges through buy orders 400,000 Bitcoin being purchased by these companies, we would be at a very, very different price now. The reason why they're doing this way is because they want to buy at a lower price. I mean, realistically, if you can buy at 100,000 or 80,000, it bodes a bit well than buying at 999,000. It says Bitcoin is set to be uncorked as declining reserves on exchanges and over-the-counter desks produce a supply imbalance. Bedlam Capital Prez, is that his name? Is that the name of the company? I don't know what that's supposed to... Okay. Which champions Bitcoin Treasury strategy company MicroStrategy as the most asymmetric trade in the market, sees demand only increasing from here. I wonder what gave it away. I wonder if it was the 19 companies announcing every single day that they're all going to be doing the exact same thing. If you somehow missed it as well, they're also only announcing really insane numbers now. No company just wants only 100 Bitcoin. They want 21,000. They all want 210,000. That kind of thing has been going about. It says MicroStrategies buys most of the Bitcoin from OTC trade desks. Apparently MicroStrategy alone, that one company, purchased 182,391 Bitcoin by themselves just from over-the-counter markets. He said, and I quote, OTC trade desks collective balances are down to around 155,000 BTC. As the OTC desks run low, the demand on the public exchanges will increase, and this is what will uncork Bitcoin's price. Yes, my friends, around, was it 500,000 Bitcoin, give or take, that since we first began to hear about these numbers has left the OTC market. I can't imagine behind the scenes what companies are doing or how they're trying to purchase their coins now. Or even the other guy was like, I'm not going to do it all at once, because if you have a buy order that big, it'll swing the price up nearly instantaneously. But there's not much time left. I know. As dramatic as it sounds, and as many times as I've been saying it, and the amount of people who kept on telling me that that's not how it works. Yeah, I remember from last year. I remember you all writing on Twitter telling me I was an idiot, that there was never a point where the OTC markets would dry up or there would be so few coins. And now we have hundreds of companies announcing that they're literally doing this exact thing that I told you was going to happen. It's not even, sometimes I mean this. I'm not a smart person. I'm not a genius. I'm not like, what have you. This was just pure logic. If companies keep buying the amount of ether that they're buying, they're going to own the majority of the supply, slash, there will be no ether left on exchanges for the masses to buy. If these companies keep announcing, these individuals, these family offices, these rich people, these CEOs, these countries, these states, these mayors, these wealth funds, these pension funds, hotel chains, nail salon chains, cheese factories, gold and silver companies keep announcing that they each want 1,000 Bitcoin and then they each want 10,000 Bitcoin. Logically, my friend, that is 15 companies, and then it's game over for the OTC market. After that, the desire for Bitcoin will literally become insatiable because they will all rush to exchanges to try and buy at a cheaper price than the other companies. If you see that something it costs $1 on the table and you know that every purchase would raise it by another $1, no one wants to be last in line paying $100. So yes, I mean, we still have time. That's the interesting part. September, October, November, December. We still have a couple of months because obviously, if this particular momentum continues, we are going to see the OTC markets like literally completely dry up. If that continues to happen and we do see an uncorking of Bitcoin's price, or as Samson Mao says it, the Omega and the Godzilla candles, it would then logically make sense that we get to $1 million Bitcoin by the end of the year. I hold back in saying so, but logically that would make a lot of sense as far as everything that's going on. We just need the OTC market to completely run out, and then it's going to get even more dramaticer than any of us could possibly imagine. Yeah. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed. I hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.